They told me, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I fixed it anyway. And then I fixed it again and again and again, until it finally broke.
Nice little harvest of lemons this morning. So the Minister for War, who's funnily enough the Minister for Finance and the Leader of the Opposition, it's a lot of self-appointed titles, but she's given me the ultimatum to get rid of a fair amount of accumulation of Temu stuff for building lures and hobbies and spray painting and carving and whatnot, which I agree. It's been piled up here on the pool table for a month or so, or a couple of months, while I've been accumulating stuff on Temu, free gifts and whatnot, with some of the big purchases that I've got. So yeah, it's well and truly time I got rid of this and put it somewhere where I got some space to work out off the pool table so we can play pool again. And that place just happens to be this old caravan we've got here. It was on this block when we bought it. The people that built this house, they were sort of staying in it while they were building. So we'll go and have a look. I've got to do a few things. I've got to run power to it. I spent yesterday cleaning out the junk. There's 14 years of accumulated things that we didn't know whether to throw out or what to do with them. So I've cleaned all them out, thrown a lot down the tip. So it's got this annex. There's a few leaks in it. I'll sort the roof out, put a couple of tables in here. It's a bit of a hot box in summer and freezing cold in winter, but I'll put I've got a portable camping aircon. There's not much inside there, there's just junk. I won't really utilise that space, but this space in here I'll utilise it, put some curtains up and make it a lure building and a sort of crafts shed, I suppose. If I'm making lures and baits, I might call it the Master Baiter's Hut or something like that. This little drill bit here from Temu, they're called a countersunk drill bit, so not bad. They need a pilot hole because they don't have a point just to locate them, but yeah, they countersink things in pretty good. These big 8 amp hour batteries for your Ryobi, Bunnings, $200 each. They had a value pack of 2 of them for $2.99, so I got that, but yeah, far out. I should have just seen if Temu do one that fits Ryobi, because that's pretty crazy prices, paying $300 for 2 batteries. I know they're big ones, but anyway, it is what it is. A few years ago now, I lucky enough that I ran some conduit in the ground and put a junction box in for this caravan with a plan to put power to it. The original owners just ran an extension cord all the way from the front meter box, just a little 10 amp cord. It was dangerous as. So a few years ago I put in some conduit. I only made it as far as there, but now I just need to dig the rest of the hole, bury it deep enough and hook into there, and I'll have power. I'll get me Sparky mate to hook up the meter end, and Bob's your uncle, we'll be right. Well, there are some things you can get away with buying off Temu and some things you can't. I bought these hex shaft drill bits because they're handy. A lot of the, like this Ryobi drill, you find that they slip in the chuck. But yeah, I tried to drill a star picket and I've never ever had a drill bit do it. But look at that. I've broken plenty, I've never ever bent one. So that's saying something about them. If you're drilling anything more than wood, don't bother with them. Right, so Sparky mate come and wire it all up. We got 3 power outlets in this junction box, and I run an extension cord to the caravan. Making some progress in here. It's a bit of a pigsty, but now I'm starting to run some cables and where I want power and where I want lights and all the rest of it. So this will be the bench where all the power tools are. I'll get a light going over there. That'll be my painting corner and UV light oven. And then here will be sort of carving, shaping, putting in the hooks and the wire and everything else. But yeah, just running some wire. So we're getting there. Okay, I've come to the point in putting this room together where I have to reveal to you a major F-up that I made. Would you look at that? It's a fuck up. A few weeks ago when I was about a week or two ago when I was building my first ever lure and using the flex shaft grinder that came with the the lapidary equipment that I reviewed for those that have seen that video. So this is it. So I was hollowing out the mouth on that little popper bait, and yeah, it got caught in my t-shirt, and this is the result. Twisted up the shaft, made it unusable. So that's half of that machine obsolete. So I did order another shaft. Whether it's the same or not, I don't know, because you never know on Temu. But in the meantime, I did order a flex shaft grinder. This was about $70, which seems like good value. So I'll set that up. And then when the other one comes, I might be able to get the other half of that lapidary machine going again. But yeah, I just thought I'd review this while I'm setting it up anyway. So yeah, it just comes in the box with the electric motor and the flex shaft. But this one, I'll have more control over, because the other one's got a dial on the machine, and it's sort of what you set it up to is what it stays at, and you can't really reach it while you're doing stuff, whereas this one has a foot pedal. So I'll set that up and then give a bit of a demo of it and review that. Well, there's another F-up. You can chalk up to the F-up board. I bought these U-Butte LED lights, but I can't film anything under them. I just realised after I watched that last take, because as soon as I get close to them, they're the same frequency as, well, the frequency's messing with the camera. I've tried it on all different frames per second. It makes no difference. It's about the best it's going to be. So the lights are pretty much useless for when I'm filming. So yeah, there you go. Uh-oh, that's 2 far cups in a row. So I'll continue filming this in relative darkness. The first issue I can see with this is it's not a very long lead. It's not a very long flexible shaft drive, so you've got to have that mounted pretty low, you know, down in amongst your work area. So I've got to figure out divides away, hook off the caravan with a big, and hook it out here somewhere so that I don't run out of flex shaft. And then that goes down to your foot pedal. So hopefully I've got enough length for the foot pedal then. But I'll do a bit of measuring up and see where I can put it. I found this old handle or whatever it is in the scrap, and just chop that up. Someone's made that up at some point for a handle for something. Put some cocky shit weld on it. I didn't make it. It's not mine. I'm not saying I have never put down cocky shit welds, but that's not mine. But they'll be strong enough. I just sliced it there with the angle grinder. Get rid of that bit. It's scrap. And then I'll T screw this to the main frame of the caravan, like find a nice frame in there and hook it up there so that it's strong. But I'll turn this light back on to do that, and hopefully this camera doesn't flutter. I'll move it away from it. There we go, she's working. Might not be exactly how I wanted it, but it'll do the trick. Foot pedal. And your hand piece. Be much better to have more control over it than the other one, and hopefully I won't slip off my work, tangle it up in my shirt and wreck this one. It came with a box of little accessories. It's a better chuck key than the other one, because you can, rather than just a chuck, it's got the handle on it, so you can undo and do things up a lot faster. That handle, a little bag of polishing pads and whatnot in there. Can't see that I'll use the polish as much. And a few sanding discs and grinding discs, and that's about all it comes with. But you can't expect much. It was $74.95 all up. I had an Allen key in there. You don't get much for $75 these days, and I guess we'll see how it goes. Even though it's got Viva written on it, it wasn't sold as a Viva, but Viva are obviously making their look at that camera. They're making their electric motors. Pretty much done in here. Do a bit of a tour. Start over this side. There's power tools, drill press, sander, bandsaw, and I've got it set up with a vacuum so I can suck dust out of there, and I'll rig something up for the sander, probably some sort of a vacuum fitting under there that sucks the dust as it comes down. Under the bench, storage of various grinding wheels and pegs for pegging on the mesh for scales, some nozzles for super glue, storage in the corner for my lapidary rock cutter. I'll use that outside when I use it. I'll take the table outside and use it. Some mica powders, toolbox with various bits and pieces in it. Fish eyes and hooks and everything else I need to make lures there. Strips of sandpaper, paint brushes, the flex shaft grinder mounted there, a couple of little vices and some helping hands, a swivel chair for ease of getting in and out. This old fridge still works. I've had it for years. It used to be my grandfather's and I got it and painted it. I got it, what, 28 years ago, and it still works, but I'm not turning it on. It's going to be storage for paints, just to keep them so they're not fluctuating too much, paints and UV resin and whatnot. Over here, just a bench to work on. Got the old King's air conditioner to chill the place down if it gets too hot. This will be the painting corner, so airbrush down the bottom. We'll make this esky into like a UV oven. I'll mount some UV lights in there for setting off the UV resin. And that's about it in here actually. It's turned out quite well. Almost exclusively with stuff from Temu. Some good, some bad, but anyway, it works. And we'll see how we go. It's a nice little den, man cave, or it could be a she shed for Annie to do some mosaics and whatnot. But the best part about it, I got the old car fridge in here. And I can have some cold beer ready for when I escape down here. So anyway, that's about a wrap on this video. I'm sure you'll see plenty of footage in here over the coming episodes. So till next time, see you later.